High yields on stable coins, yeah, that's where my bag at. All I really need is Wi-Fi, getting money on DeFi, mega cash on MetaMask. You better run when the runners run, show you how to get your money up. Dollar inflated like bubble gum, markets are jumping like double dutch. Buying up gold till I get a ton, crypto, yeah, I got some. You better run when the runners run, you better run when the runners run.
The future is gold. You are running with the runners. It's Monday, March 4th, 2024. We have amazing updates, guys. Gold and Bitcoin hitting all-time highs on the exact same day. Only one man can explain how important this is. It's Ricardo Hamilton, aka Mims, making it make sense. What's going on, brother? Two bricks in the house.
Two bricks in the house, man. You better run when the runners run, man. I'm telling you, we've been telling people for a very long time what's going on. And I'm fired up and excited because I know a lot of people have taken position. And to be able to continue to provide this information and people are seeing it in real time and putting themselves in position to change their lives is not a small thing. It's big. It's huge. Okay. It's bigly. All right. And we just pumped, brother. I'm pumped up and excited. How are you?
Man, listen, I don't like to say I told you so, but it just feels good when you have been validated when you go against the mainstream narrative. When so many people try to find faults with everything we've been teaching our team for 5 years now, and when everything comes to fruition in the right spot, in the right place, it just feels good to know that the people who have been listening to us and following us are doing so well right now. And that's what really gets me excited, makes me happy every single day to see the runners winning.
Yeah. It's exciting times, man. Exciting times. So we got a great show for tonight. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, let's just start off with looking at this is the gold chart. So you can see here the candle has closed at 21.11. We did just for a second here go up a little bit higher. Okay, but I mean, when we pull out here, Ricardo, it's just amazing and kind of crazy to see what gold has done. You know, we're back here in 2000, the year 2000, gold's at 258.
Yeah.
And like we talked about last week, I think right around here is when the spot ETF came out in 2005 at 431, and then gold just went on this huge bull run all the way up to 19. It came down. And again, this is when everyone, was saying, whoa, why buy gold? It's hasn't gone anywhere in 10 years. And now we see, looks like we're getting a little cup and handle here. And who knows where we're going up here. We kind of almost have like a triple or quadruple top of we're just get over 2K, lower low. So I could see gold really blasting off from here. But either way, again, let's kind of get into this, Ricardo, right away. And let's look at the Bitcoin one really quick, and then we'll kind of explain what's going on here. So this is the double top from the last bull run. This was in March of 21, and then in November of 21. And then again, guys, this is when we were still talking about crypto. We were still covering the markets, but a lot of people left the space. This is when the smart money buys, okay? Right here on December 5th is when we made our video that you should start buying Bitcoin every single day, all right? And that would have been literally the best time to start buying crypto during this cycle. And as you can see, this thing is just ripping. And then some people will say, well, we didn't hit our all-time high yet. There was an exchange today where Bitcoin traded its highest it's ever been traded for. So Mims, people will always, make this thing of, well, I just do gold and silver, or I just do crypto. And, we were talking earlier today, and I was just wanting people to understand this is not an either or thing. Gold and silver are not investments. They're insurance. Yeah. They're solid. They're time tested, right? crypto is relatively new. It is definitely an investment. It is definitely risky. It's definitely volatile. So, Mims, maybe make it make sense what people need to understand that they need both of these assets in their portfolio right now.
Yeah, Mike, we tell people all the time, I never really understood this argument of, should I get Bitcoin or should I get precious metals? I said, why limit yourself? Why would you not diversify into both assets? One thing that people really got to understand is that gold and silver, like you mentioned, Mike, is insurance. It's how you save your money. It's how you preserve your wealth. What a lot of people don't really understand is that gold and silver are tier one assets. Okay, it's money, right? It's money in Africa, Asia, Europe, the Americas. It's how you protect the value of your money, which you work so hard for. And it's how you give it the ability to grow for you and create wealth, right? Now, Bitcoin and blockchain and investments are very exciting, but there is risk associated to that. With gold and silver, there is zero risk because they're tier one assets, okay? And that's according to the Bank of International Settlements. See, gold and silver always have value. It's always will be money, And so that's why we get excited, because we know that those who've been running with the runners, not only have you been saving your money in precious metals, okay? And obviously we're looking at, gold at all-time highs and silver still so massively undervalued, folks. You just have to understand something. The thing about gold and silver is almost like Bitcoin and XRP, in my opinion. Bitcoin will run up and then silver comes later on, or XRP comes later on. Well, it's the same thing with gold. We're going to see a run up in gold, right? And then you see silver lagging and coming right behind with a significant run up as well. And I'm bullish on all these assets. We are bullish on all these assets, especially right now, because there are some dynamics and there's some factors that are coming and that are happening in the monetary system, in the global economy right now that most people aren't aware of. But if you understand what's going on and then you take action, okay, you can secure your financial future. You can create untold wealth and create a legacy for you and yourself and your family. So, yeah, Mike, I never really, got why people would only want to, do crypto or gold and silver and not just do both. This is the time to really diversify and build wealth in physical and digital assets.
Yeah, you got to have both, guys. You need the defense with the gold and silver. You need the offense with crypto. Like, we obviously love gold and silver, but you cannot get the gains like you can in crypto right now. And then we have ways where we teach you how to take those crypto gains. We're going to talk about dog meme coins tonight. You can literally take your crypto gains from dog meme coins that go up 100% in a day and secure it in real physical gold and silver. That's how you play this game, guys.
Yeah, that's huge. That's huge. Because a lot of people don't realize, if you're new to crypto or this is your first bull run, you'll make money. You're going to see the value of your wallet, your portfolio increase. But the real trick, okay, is knowing how to take profits and knowing how to secure those profits, okay? And that's what we specialize in, helping people take their digital assets and turn them into hard money, real money, physical assets in the process. So, yeah, brother.
And it's like somebody in the private runners Telegram group asked today about buying Shiba Inu today when it's gone up 100%. I was like, no, this is when you want to sell. And she was like, well, I do have a bag. I'm like, well, this is maybe where you want to sell 20 or 25% of it, not buy in once the coin's already pumped 100%.
Yeah, you definitely want to know how to read the charts and look for those, retracement.
Now, what asset is not at its all-time high is silver. So again, the smart money right now is still buying silver. Silver in 2011 was almost $50. And we've been dipping down here. This was the pandemic dip all the way down to $12 or something crazy. Then we kind of came back to normal and we've just been chopping sideways. The longer this stays down and chops sideways, the harder it boosts up when it goes.
That's a fact. That's the accumulation period.
So that is what the smart money is doing now.
Yeah. So you definitely want to have physical silver. We talk about at these prices. And then one other thing to keep in mind is that when we're looking at gold and silver, and Mike showed you how gold blew up after the ETF, did like a 4 or 5x or whatever it was. And then you see silver hasn't even had its day in the sunlight yet, hasn't had a moment to shine yet. That's where you want to be at. But still remember that these are the paper contract derivative markets. Okay. And so you have to understand that's why we're not seeing what we want to see or what we should see in precious metals. But nonetheless, it does give us the opportunity to accumulate more because we know the value. And that's more important than everything and than anything. If you know the value of something, it's just a matter of time before the market and the world realizes that real value and you win it because you've been in ahead of time.
And again, that's why we measure our wealth in ounces and the amount of the asset, not the dollar amount. The dollar amount's going to always go down. We know that. That's an economic fact. So again, gold, number one asset in the world, not even close, 14.2 trillion market cap, 2120. Microsoft, Apple, Nvidia, oil, Amazon, Google, and silver is at 8. Bitcoin moves ahead of Facebook, almost coming into silver. It will probably flip silver here in just a little bit at 68,269. Silver, again, still so undervalued at 2319. And again, we got to start checking on Ethereum because I think that's also a big one. Ethereum ahead of the Vanguard, S&P, Johnson & Johnson, Home Depot, ExxonMobil, going to be bigger than MasterCard here soon, Mims. Think about that. MasterCard. Everybody knows what MasterCard is. Everyone has MasterCard in their wallets. And yet here we have Ethereum, the number 2 cryptocurrency, about to overtake them in market cap.
Yeah.
And what a time to be alive.
When you really put it against the backdrop that only 20% or so of people in the United States are in crypto, and when you really put it against the backdrop of only 4% of the world is in crypto, and then you understand this super cycle, this bull market, this reset, global monetary reset that we're going in right now. And as people start to realize that the paper money ain't what it used to be, and they realize that they have to get into blockchain, they have to get into metals. It's not an option. Just like you said, Mike, people think they have a choice. It's not really a choice. That's the illusion. These are assets you have to have. So, yeah.
And we're going to talk about that in a minute about just the dire circumstances we are facing here. But I just want to give you guys a warning. Again, this is not financial advice. You got to make your own decisions. But when I look at this chart and I see some dogs, whatever a flocky is, and frogs going over 200, 300% in a week, I think the market might be ready for a pullback.
Yeah.
I mean,
dog
whiff hat. When a dog whiff a hat on goes up 184% in a week, something ain't right. Okay. So I am not buying dog, frog, cat, bear coins right now when they've gone up 300%. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I don't know what I'm doing. But again, to me, Ricardo, this says that maybe the actual, customers are coming back to the market. Retail is what we call it. Because before this, it was Wall Street. It was the ETFs. But now it's somebody opens up their Coinbase app. Oh, I haven't looked at this in 2 years. And they're like, oh, there's that dog I love. I'll buy $100 of that. And next thing you know, everyone's coming in buying at the top. So again, guys, please be careful, especially if you're a degenerate trading dog and frog meme coins. All right. I get it. They have their place in crypto. But again, don't make that I'm just going to be a degenerate gambler and throw money into every little meme coin that comes along. Normally that does not, you might as well just go to the casino and put it on black and every other time. Mims, any advice, or can you make it make sense why dogs and frogs are crushing this market?
Yeah, I mean, one of the major things that I look at is the fear and greed index. And right now, last time we did the show was at 80. Right now it's at 90. And when you see that meme coins like this, I mean, 300% in a week, that's serious. Yeah. That's serious, folks. You understand? So yeah, that might be an indication that you want to wait for a pullback. You want to wait for the market to come back. There are going to be some better buying options, okay, than where we are right now. But I mean, there's extreme greed in the market. And unfortunately, a lot of people's psychology is buy green, okay, right? When really you should have been buying red, okay?
Yep.
You sell green. So a lot of people are looking at this, oh, the meme coins are pumping. Maybe it's a time to get in. Maybe it might go up another 2x or 3x from where it is. Nobody knows, but when you're looking at these dynamics, you want to buy when there's blood in the streets. You don't want to buy with 300, 400, 500% in a month, 780% in a month. You should have bought over a month ago and be taking profits right now. Not the time to get in.
Right.
Yeah.
So always keep some dry powder, guys, as you're making some profits. Okay. Scrape a little off the top, because there will be a time, okay, even though we're probably going to keep going up, there will be a time where there's going to be 10, 20, maybe even 30% drop in the market. That's when you're going to want to take some positions.
Yeah.
All right. So let's do a transition here, Ricardo. You sent me a great video from Tommy Tuberville, who was the former Auburn football coach for a long time. He's now a U.S. Senator. And he really painted what I think is probably the most accurate picture I've heard of what the normal everyday American is dealing with. So right now we're going to hear from him. This is a really good listen. It's just about 4 minutes long, but I think he really captures a lot of the sentiments of what Americans are feeling right now and why you have to look out at alternative assets to even survive what's going on in this economy.
Yeah, listen closely.
This is all a scam. I mean, we got people that's getting ready to retire that's going to try to live off $2,000 to $3,000. Impossible. It's impossible. Because what happens, it comes up here, we spend it. We're $35 trillion in debt. We don't have any money. We're dead broke. And then taxpayers have $2 trillion in credit card debt. We are in huge trouble. In this body, we had better start figuring that out, because we're going to have a run on this city here soon, and there's going to be about 150 million people coming up here saying, where's our damn money that we paid in? I could have put my Social Security money 40 years in tax in the market and probably be worth 8 to 10 million today. But the federal government wasted it. So I'll get off my horse there. But it's good that we have this, because we got, I get a little pension check from education. I was part of a union. It's not going to help people. People are going to have to continue to work longer and longer. Am I right, Ms. Gender? Can you say something about Social Security and it being taxed for some reason? We're taxing people for the second time on the Social Security that they put into an account.
Yeah.
One thing, Mims, that always blew my mind when I found this out: Social Security, when you factor in inflation, has a negative rate of return.
That's one of the main things that he's really saying, folks. He's really talking about the loss in purchasing power, the value of your money, inflation. And then he also is talking about a run on the banks. Okay. He's literally saying that, the dynamics and the forces and factors that we're facing in this market and how it's going to affect people's real lives. Okay. This is a crisis. It is a crisis. We know what's coming. And this is why we're telling people. And I love it when we can, pull up sources like this that are saying the same thing that we've been saying. Nobody's coming to save you. You cannot rely on the government and think that Social Security or any of these systems or programs that they put together is going to put you in a quality lifestyle that you would want to live, right? So it's so important that people really, pay attention and actually do something with the information. Change your spending habits, change how you, go about your day to day, and realize the time that we're in, but also the opportunity that you have.
I mean, so basically dogs and frogs are giving better returns than Social Security. That's where we're at in 2024.
I mean, I saw a report where Social Security ain't going to be around 2035. Okay. it's a joke, you know, and like the senator is saying, it's a scam. It's a scam, right? So you got to do something different. You got to do something different.
Yeah, and I'd like to point out when Social Security was first founded, those who established it, it was started out as a 2% tax, and they said this will never take more than 6% of your income. Today, it takes 12.4%, and depending on whether you go with CBO or Social Security trustees, it needs to take between 15.8 and 17.5%. So we're talking about thousands of dollars more per year. It also was actually
It's taking more than God asked for. God only wanted 10%. The
Right.
government wants 17% now for just for Social Security.
Wow.
Not everything else they tax you for. Just for Social Security, they want 17%.
And it's
It's
going to get
insanity.
worse. And it's going to get worse because we talk about this all the time with the debt, the cost to service the debt. And then you're talking about, you know, how they're mismanaging the maldistribution of wealth and funds right now. You know, and I talked about it earlier when you talk about this illegal immigration crisis and them getting millions of dollars for housing and food and clothing and shelter and everything else. And they didn't put $1 into the system.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a crisis. It's a big problem. And you have to take control of your life. You can't hope and wait for the government or anybody else to do it for you.
only originally recommended that the tax be up to $66,000, equivalent in today's dollars of earnings. But over time, it has expanded massively, and the money has been spent every year. So whereas everybody thinks this money's been set aside for me, no, for the past 13 years, every dollar that has gone out of workers' paychecks has gone immediately to pay promised benefits. And that's what happens when you have a system that enables those in charge of it to spend the money in the immediate term and leave the buck to the next generation that's coming along. And because Social Security has grown so much, it's actually to the detriment of lower income workers in particular, who have to pay such a large share of their paycheck to Social Security, they have little left to save for retirement. And then lower income and African American workers have the lowest life expectancies. So they are the most likely to get nothing back in return. 1 out of 4 African American men will die between the ages of 45 and 64 after having paid into this system for decades, tens if not hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they might get nothing back.
What's the solution?
I think we ultimately have to shift towards a universal benefit system. That's what true social insurance is. It does not make sense that we are paying the biggest benefits to the highest income earners. So gradually over time, I think we need to bend down the benefits for the middle and upper income earners, actually increase them for the lower income earners, look at things like indexing retirement and age.
So I found her answer interesting there, Mims, because essentially it's another wealth transfer from the poor to the rich. Who's getting the most payouts in Social Security? The rich, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who is this hurting the most? Black men who are poor or middle class. So again, just another wealth redistribution, but as usual, rather than going from the top to the bottom, it's going from the bottom to the top.
Yeah. Yeah. And it correlates. You have to understand, you know, your financial status and how you're living financially affects your health. So when they start talking about, you know, black men and people in general as well, I'm sure, that are in poverty or, you know what I'm saying, suffering from the inability to even, you know, have a healthy food options. You know, they're forced to, you know, eat at the restaurants or whatever have you. All these things is what contributes to the ill health. But it all comes back to the, you know, the financial system and the monetary system and what she was talking about, where you know, there is a better way, and you know, it needs to be employed, but you can't rely on them to do it. You got to do it yourself. And that's what we talk about when we're trying to help people realize that you got to take your dollars right now and you got to convert them into assets and you got to take care of yourself. You don't need the government to take care of you. That's the setup number one. Relying on somebody else, some system to take care of you, that's the first problem. Take care of yourself, handle business.
So again, this next one, guys, again, we are here to just educate and inform you and prepare you, not scare you. But Ricardo sent me this today, and I think it's a very good overview of the current situation we are in and why these two assets of gold and silver metals and then cryptocurrency might be our only chance out. So I'm going to read a little bit of this, and then Mims, whenever you want to jump in, just let me know, and we'll kind of get
Yeah.
your reaction on it. This is from Ann Vandersteel on X. I think this is just a few days ago. Banking collapse imminent. The reset has begun. Effective March 26, 2020, the Federal Reserve Board reduced reserve requirement ratios on all net transaction accounts to 0%, eliminating reserve requirements for all depository institutions. That means when you put $1 into a bank, they have to keep 0 of it. They can loan it all out.
Yeah, most people didn't know that, Mike. Most people really don't understand fractional reserve lending. And then people who even understood it, they were under the impression that the bank was required to hold at least 10% of your money. But
Right.
most people didn't know that those requirements changed during COVID, where now they're not required to hold any of your money. Can you imagine? They're not allowed, or I should say, they're allowed to not hold any of your money. Okay, they're allowed to loan out 100% of it, where before they had to keep some of it on hand. Now, after COVID, they're loaning out all of it. They don't have your money. It's crazy that they would even allow that. It's insane. But most people don't know that. You think when you put your money in the bank, you think that it's there. You're like, hey, I put in 10 grand. I got 10 grand in the bank. No, you don't. You've been lied to.
In spring 2023, the banking collapse started with smaller regional banks. In spring 2024, the next wave of banking collapse will continue. November 2023, the CEOs of Bank of America, Wells Fargo, and JP Morgan told Congress they could not go from 0 reserves to be held to a 3% reserve balance. The current deposit to loan ratios means the banks cannot sustain any type of run on the banks. When the people realize what is happening, there will be a run on the banks. Effective March 11th, 2024, there will be no more money to loan out, and the Fed will pick and choose who gets to loan out money. Congress passed the bail-in provision with the 2010 Dodd-Frank Wall Street Reform and Consumer Protection Act, which is the exact opposite of what that act does.
Right.
As
That's
usual
like
for the government.
That's like Federal Reserve, but they're not federal and they have no reserves, right?
Ain't no reserve.
Crazy.
Which allows the banks to confiscate assets. The bail-in relief was legalized in the U.S. following the 27-28 financial crisis, in which banks deemed too big to fail were bailed out by the U.S. government. The specific section of Dodd-Frank that deals with this bail-in is Title II, Orderly Liquidation Authority, or the OLA.
So you got to understand something, folks, that they've already passed the laws for them to take everything. Okay, if you have your money in a bank, they already passed the laws where they can take your checkings, your savings, your safety deposit box to shore up the system. And remember, they were too big to fail. Okay, in 2010, right? Is what he's saying. Now imagine in 2008 financial crisis, right? They were too big to fail. So here we are in 2024. What the hell do you think is going on right now? I mean, in 2008, we were $10 trillion in debt. Today, we're about almost $35 trillion of debt. Okay. We done did a 3X on the debt in about 10, 15 years or so. Okay. So we're in a way worse situation than we were before. So this is why I tell people don't keep money in the banks. Okay. Keep enough to pay your bills, pay your bills, and the rest, you make sure you're going to be able to have access to it. Let's just put it like that.
Right.
Yeah.
So here's the scary part. Who's exposed? 401ks, retirement accounts. Currently, there are 27 trillion in retirement accounts. People with cash positions in banks will have their money taken. The banks have already started this by limiting how much money you can take out, transfer on Zelle, or move in general. What does this mean? This will be the demise of the middle class, leading to a recession and then depression. People will be left with nothing if they do not diversify their cash into paying off loans, buying gold, silver, crypto, or other hard assets.
And now you see that and scroll back up for me a little bit there, Mike.
Yeah.
Scroll up. to the beginning. Okay, right. So you see where what do most people rely on when it comes to retirement? Social Security and their 401k. You know what I'm saying? And it's not like they've been educated to actually save, the masses, I would say, in precious metals, getting the blockchain, especially blockchain, which is relatively new. It's all speculative. And you had JP Morgan and all these other people flooding people out of the market, and they were calling it rat poison and all this other stuff, right? Right. But I mean, it's really a setup, and it's really a sad situation, because as much as we're doing this live stream, trying to explain to people and help them comprehend and making it make sense the best that we can, we're not reaching everybody. There's a lot of people who have no idea what's going on. They have no idea what's going on with Social Security, inflation. They have no idea the existential risk to their 401k and the monetary system. They have no idea. So consider yourself literally blessed and fortunate that you can even tap into this frequency of understanding of where we are in the world and what you need to be doing. This information is a blessing, okay, to people who have no idea, especially when there's people out here who have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, so if you guys appreciate this, like this, drop some comments, share it out, send it to some people, because we got to get this information out there. We have to help get people prepared for what is coming. The potential. This could keep Trump from winning the White House. In a bank collapse, the government could institute martial law, shut the banks, and ration your access to money. The loss already sustained in 2020 is worse than what happened in 2008. The stock market manipulation, coupled with massive money printing and inflation, has done a better job of masking the incoming collapse. And collapse is coming. Worldwide markets, Hong Kong, Japan, S&P, Dow, all-time highs. Why? BlackRock and Vanguard control trillions in assets, and they are manipulating those stocks with sustained earnings and rotating out any stocks that can't perform and rotating in AI stocks into S&P 500 and other exchanges.
Yeah, we know that. Yeah, we're in an overvalued market. You know what I mean? It's rigged and manipulated. We've been telling you that. They've been buying back the stocks. The government gives them money. The banks, printing money, central banks, and they're bailing each other out, But it's rigged and manipulated. It will come to an end. And that's why I support that people understand it. There will be pandemonium at some point. I mean, if you guys remember during the 2008 financial crisis, what did we have? We had Occupy Wall Street, okay? We had the Tea Party, okay? We had all these groups of people coming together, getting in the streets, protesting. Now, what they're saying in this post and what the senator was saying is there's going to be a run on the banks. People going to want to get their money out this system. It's going to be a real life J.G. Wentworth, it's our money and we want it now commercial. People in the streets, okay, upset. Now, that's what they want at the same time, because it allows them to, like they mentioned, they can implement martial law. And I'm gonna tell you one thing: you see everything that they've tried to do to not get Trump on the ballot. You see what they have done to this man. Okay, whether you're for Trump or not, you have to acknowledge the lengths and and just what is taking place and how unprecedented it is. You see what I'm saying? And when you put together all the dynamics and factors, we had them for 4 years. Were we in world wars? You know what I'm saying? Was the border like this? Was all these crises going on? No. But this is where we are right now under this president. So it's just crazy. But this is why we're saying we don't really necessarily know what's coming, but something's coming, and we just want to be prepared the best that we can, and we want to share that information and help others get in position as well.
So the result, the stock market will hang in there, but the banks and dollar will collapse. Cryptos are going crazy and will allow purchasing stocks with crypto. And as BRICS comes more online, you are going to see the transfer to asset-backed transactions, like the new, I don't know what this is, ABAX exchange.
Yeah.
Will facilitate LNG and battery metals.
Yeah, LNG, for those who don't know, is liquid natural gas. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So when we talk about when you have to understand, this reset is literally countries, institutions, they're jockeying for position now. Like this is why you see some countries want to take land, or this is why you're seeing, you know, the whole financial system. The world relies on these metals, these rare earth minerals, these resources. You know, your day-to-day life, you don't really realize the role that, you know,
Yeah.
even, yeah. So when we talk about liquid natural gas and we talk about especially what's going on in Europe, they blew up Nord Stream 2. Okay. And then you have a lot of other dynamics and factors taking place where the cost of living is just going to get too high. You see what I'm saying? And so there's a lot of there's so many things going on, and you don't really have to be on top of it all. You don't have to understand it all. It doesn't have to all make sense. Most people just like, all right, well, look, I get it. There's a problem. Tell me what I need to do. We're telling you right now, you need to have physical silver. You need to have some gold, and you need to get into blockchain and DeFi and cryptocurrency. Okay. Yeah. That's what you need to be doing. Okay. And you need to be doing it ASAP, because we are coming up on a point where you might be out of luck. I'm just telling you, like, I remember during COVID, we couldn't buy silver at a lot of major online dealers. The places we know, we still had it, but you couldn't buy it. Okay. And at the rate that they're buying Bitcoin right now, these ETFs, they're buying 10,000, 12,000 and more Bitcoin per day. And there's only 900 Bitcoin produced per day. I want y'all to really understand that. People say, why is Bitcoin rising right now? Because these institutions are buying 10 to 12,000, if not more, Bitcoin per day. But there is only 900 Bitcoin made per day. And in less than 50 days, we have a halving taking place where there's only going to be 450 Bitcoin produced per day, but yet we're going to have the same volume, if not greater, coming in. Okay, and amongst a whole lot of other things. So it's huge. It's huge.
No, that's a great point, Mems. And I had this for the stream, and I forgot to pull it up. But yeah, you nailed it, man. I mean, in 1 week, just the ETFs bought 30,000 Bitcoin.
Wow.
And there were only 6,000 new Bitcoin produced by the miners. And that gets cut in half in about a month.
That's a 5X. Bitcoin gonna do a 5X. I'm seeing Bitcoin. People want to know, where's Bitcoin going? Okay. I'm seeing Bitcoin around 300,000. Okay. After this cycle. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. Bitcoin is going over 200. I can tell you that. It's going over 200,000. Yeah. Yeah. We're going to see that. Now from here, that's, 3X, whatever it is, 4X. But I'm telling you, the major opportunity is in a lot of what Mike shares on his YouTube. When we talk about DeFi, it's a lot of what we always talk about with these altcoins. It's a lot. It's huge, in these low market cap gems that we're talking about. But do not sleep on having physical silver and gold. I'm just telling you right now. You want to have physical money, real money, zero risk, God's money, physical silver and gold. You have to have that on automatic consistently. Okay, folks. And I get excited because for those who don't know, okay, something revolutionary has taken place in the precious metals marketplace. Okay, I've been posting about it. I've been letting people know more information is coming out. But the biggest thing that I've ever seen has taken place in the precious metals marketplace. And I'm talking about for gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. Most people don't know about it. Okay, but it happened about last night. Okay, last night it happened, the biggest thing ever. So definitely reach out to us so we can help you get in position. Because we're literally in the largest wealth transfer in history, and we got some phenomenal things that are taking place in the precious metals market that most people don't know about. So if you don't know that it happened last night, most likely you don't know, and you need to get back to me, Mike, or whoever shared this video with you so they can put you in position.
No, well said, Bims. Well said. Other than that, I think that's all I have. We will be going live again tomorrow, guys. Same time. So Tuesday at 10 p.m. We'll bring you guys some more value, keep you informed. This is the time to pay attention, guys. This next year, we don't know what the price of Bitcoin or Pepe is going to be tomorrow. Okay. But we do know that we are in a bull run, and The price of crypto is going to go up at least for the next year. All right. And we do know that gold and silver have been money and stored their value for over 10,000 years. Okay. We got the best of both worlds, the defense and the offense. It's time to plug in and run with the runners.
Hey, look, folks, we're going to catch you guys tomorrow. We got a lot of information, a lot of content going up. We about to make so much, we talk about the dollar, but understand something. Cash flow is king. Okay. And we got one of the best cash flow systems right now that ever has existed. Okay. And we're dealing with real money. Lace up. Let's get wealthy, folks. Y'all know what time it is.